Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambeau channel. Do you remember this headline from back in April of this year? This one happens to be from Coinpedia, but the story was covered all over crypto media. But this one reads as follows. Ripple vs. SEC update. Hinman and Clayton get sued for role played in the case. And so what this article highlights is XRP community member and attorney Fred Rispoli sued in April Jay Clayton and Bill Hinman. You may recall this story, and we were all rooting for that. I think I could. It's probably safe to say I speak for everyone. I know I don't literally, but yeah, in unison, we were all screaming "F yes," right? Well, and you know, given what's going on, let's just say this: given what's going on with the SEC v. Ripple case, attorney Fred Rispoli ended up speaking with attorney John Deaton after that conversation. Ended up deciding to, for now anyway, pull the lawsuit against Clayton and Hinman, but he has publicly stated, even after pulling it immediately, that he fully intends to go after them, but he's doing a whole lot more than that. I am definitely a big fan of Fred Rispoli. I already was, and now I'm an even bigger fan. You know what he's doing now? He is bringing the fight to the SEC. He has the right attitude. It's proper amount of aggression, because he's basically saying, I'm going to share with you exactly what he said, but the message he's conveying is, let's not sit around and wait for the SEC to sue the next coin. Let's go on offense. Let's legally go after the SEC. Let's challenge them. And he's also fighting to make sure that XRP holders end up getting the airdrops that they're entitled to, including Songbird, for example. So looking forward to covering all of that. But before going further, I do want to be clear, I do not have a legal or financial background of any kind. I am not offering legal or financial advice. And you definitely should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. I'm just an enthusiast who enjoys making YouTube videos about crypto-related topics, but just as a hobby and just for fun. Now, before I get into what I just highlighted here at the outset of the video, I want to share with you something from attorney John Deaton. It's a short thread from Twitter. It's brand new. It's literally just from yesterday that he started sharing this. But John Deaton is breaking down the SEC's approach, which is effectively financially destroying companies before they sue. So what it looks like, honestly, is like the SEC, perhaps even years before they sue, they already know they're going to sue. They already know they're going to do it. And they're trying to financially break companies before it even gets to that point. And so I want to share with you what attorney John Deaton said, because this is a concept that I haven't talked about on this channel. But upon reading it, first of all, obviously it's disgusting, but it looks right. It sure as hell looks right to me. So anyway, here's what attorney John Deaton had to say. SEC modus operandi. Brad Garlinghouse said Ripple will ultimately spend $100 million on legal fees. Library and Jeremy Kauffman spent 1/3 of all funds on legal fees. Dragon Chain spent $2 to $4 million in legal fees before the case was recently filed, and now face a long, expensive legal battle. Initially, I was critical of BlockFi's extortion payment to Gary Gensler. I guess we know why, at BlockFi Zach, which is Zach Prince, he's the CEO of BlockFi, says, I guess we know why Zach Prince agreed to pay $100 million in a pre-suit settlement. So pause and note, you can see what he's getting at here right now. You pay the extortion fee so that you don't have to pay even more, because legal cases of this magnitude are outrageously expensive, which is why it's amazing. Like in the SEC going after Ripple, the bully picked on the wrong kid in the playground. You know what I'm saying here? Because Ripple clearly has not just the funds necessary to fight the SEC, but the fortitude, and they're absolutely gunning for it, which is fantastic. Anyway, attorney Deaton continues though. Ripple was investigated for 30 months before a lawsuit was filed, and no fraud. And so I pause to note, you know that this whole time, even before this, so fine, there's that 100 million figure that we've talked about before of what this is going to cost if this thing's fully adjudicated. About $100 million is Brad Garlinghouse's best guess. How much was spent leading up to this? Because you know that they needed all sorts of legal advice and documents, all that, for 30 months. I haven't heard that figure. I'm not aware of anyone at Ripple, Brad Garlinghouse or otherwise, publicly stating what the monetary impact of that has been. But suffice it to say, it must be exorbitant, right? Wouldn't you suppose? Attorney Deaton continues. Ripple offered to settle, but the SEC refused. And I'll also pause and note, Brad Garlinghouse, I know this, Brad Garlinghouse and Chris Larson, They actually were offered some sort of settlement, but they declined. So what that really means, though, I don't know the terms, what the terms would have been, but it clearly indicates, don't you think, that the terms weren't exactly reasonable. And so they couldn't, as far as Ripple being offered to settle, whatever the SEC terms would have been, obviously not kosher with Ripple. Not okay, right? And then Attorney Deaton says, LBRY was investigated for 3 years before a lawsuit was filed, and no fraud. LBRY offered to settle, which included dissolving the corporation and selling the founder's assets at auction. Anything short of registering LBC, that's the LBRY credit token, anything short of registering LBC as a security, but the SEC refused. After almost 4 years, and after being told the SEC investigation was over, and because no fraud was found, the SEC was closing the case. At the 11th hour, and before the statute of limitations ran, the SEC filed the case against DragonCoin, claiming all DragonCoin tokens are securities. Do you see the pattern? Investigate for years, causing a project millions in legal fees before suing them. Then sue them when they have limited resources, which increases the likelihood they tap out. With real fraud going on in traditional and crypto markets, this is the SEC. I gotta give a golf clap for Attorney John Deaton right there, absolutely nailing it. Isn't that what it looks like? And so fine, technically, I don't know if that's their intent, but that's effectively what's happening either way. And it very well could be intentional. And it's a pattern. They keep doing this. These rat bastards. I hate these pricks. Like, you know what I mean? These are not good people. They're just not good people. It's disgusting what they're doing. They're harming investors. The investors they're sworn to protect. And we all feel like this. And it's decreasing trust in government. It's not good stuff. It's not good. Which is why I'm so happy to see that we've got Attorney John Deaton, obviously. We also have Attorney Fred Rispoli. And my gosh, I love what he had to say, which is why I actually went to the trouble of transcribing what he said in a recent interview. And this video clip was shared by my fellow XRP YouTuber, Digital Asset Investor. And so I retweeted that, and I simply wrote, hell yeah, because this is fantastic, and you're going to love this. Here's what Attorney Fred Rispoli had to say. And one of the things we're going to be working on is getting people back some airdrops that they're entitled to. The first on my list is Songbird. So if you're waiting for your Songbird and you've had an exchange that promised it to you and did not, we are looking for a lead plaintiff. That's somebody who's willing to put their name on the lawsuit and go up against some of these exchanges. And we'll get the Songbird back. And lastly, and I'm happy to answer any questions, but the regulation by enforcement with the SEC, people need to realize that it's a two-way street. We do not have to wait for the SEC to file the next lawsuit against Binance Coin or Cardano or XLM. If you are interested in going on the offense against the SEC and you hold any coin, not XRP, because that's being handled, shoot me an email and we can talk about it, because it's time to take the fight to the SEC. Bam. Golf clap for Attorney Rispoli as well. Man, that is music to my ears. I absolutely love hearing that. He has the right approach, the right level of aggression, and it's warranted. It's totally warranted. You know, I'm tired of platforms, and look, I understand. The SEC is attacking the entire crypto space. It's not that I'm not blaming the victim, like, you know, the Coinbase or all these other exchanges that ended up delisting or halting the trading of XRP. Fine. But my gosh, I am tired of so many, after all of this, so many platforms and actors, prominent actors within the space, just acquiescing to the SEC. Yeah, because if you don't get more aggressive, you're going to have trouble. It's not going to get better. They're not going away. Take it to them legally, from a legal perspective. That's all I'm saying. Just bring the legal fight to them. Let's get this damn thing settled. Because they are harming us, and it couldn't be more obvious. So anyway, it was just I loved hearing that, and I hope you guys enjoyed that as much as I did, because it's just a breath of fresh air. You know what I mean? And to see that there are actors out there within the XRP community who are really going for it. We got Attorney John Deaton, obviously, and he's obviously the most well-known one. He's got over 72,000 XRP holders that have signed up to be represented in the SEC v. Ripple case as friends of the court. You got Attorney Rispoli here. getting aggressive appropriately, bringing the legal fight, making sure you get tokens back. He doesn't have to be doing any of this. He's doing it, though. I love seeing this. And bringing the fight to the SEC before the next coin gets attacked. And you know there's going to be more. There's going to be a ton more. So anyway, I just wanted to share that simple little video, but I love this stuff. That the attorneys are. I absolutely love bringing it to them instead of just sitting around, being afraid, acquiescing. No, bring it to them. I'm not a financial advisor. You should not buy or sell anything because of anything that I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo.